Hello guys, this is Narzynth from Rampersand.net and welcome to my review of Gothic 4 Arcania. Gothic 4 is an RPG, as a follow-on from the other RPGs of Gothic, Gothic 1, 2, and 3, but this time the game's built slightly differently and plays slightly differently. Any fans of the original Gothics will know the game to be an open-world sandbox with the ability to go out and do quests and do whatever you please to get by in the game. Unfortunately, this isn't the same game as all the other ones, and the gameplay and storyline is much more linear, but that doesn't completely detract from the game. First thing to note, there's 3 different types of character you can play: a fighter, a mage, or a ranger. In this playthrough I'm playing as a ranger because I haven't beaten the game as a ranger yet. And I'm also playing on the hardest difficulty setting, which means everything hits really hard. So probably the first thing about this game is that it's absolutely beautiful. With a high-powered machine, you can easily play this game at max settings, and it plays very smoothly and looks very pretty, as you can probably see. Fighting monsters is fairly easy, and for the most part, all the attacks are avoidable, with the exception of a couple of them, which are pretty much going to hit you every time. Monsters have, for lack of a better word, basic attacks and power attacks. Power attacks are when the monsters go green and you're unable to make them flinch, meaning if you don't avoid the attack, it's going to do massive damage to you. I'm actually at a point a few hours into the gameplay, just so I didn't go over any major plot lines, just so I wouldn't spoil it for anyone who might be thinking of picking up the game after this review. As you can see, I'm on really low health because a group of these flies really difficult. So I'm actually just gonna continually roll away, go to my inventory. Inventory is spread out very nicely. It's hard to get lost in your inventory. Potion up and get back to the combat. You see all of this stuff on the hardest difficulty, very challenging, and on a first playthrough I'd recommend playing it at normal, if not easy mode, if you're not used to these types of games. So on the current quest I'm on, I'm not going to reveal any of the plot line of the game if I can avoid it. This quest I'm currently on is I'm on to get some skaboos for an orc, so he'll let me into their camp and I can speak to their leader. And I have to accomplish this by going to talk to another orc in the southern part of the area and getting to persuade him to give me some skaboos. Game plays fairly nicely, but unfortunately it takes quite a while to get self-sufficient on your current character class unless you're playing in melee. Large groups of things will usually cause troubles in the early stages of the game to melee and mages, and rangers too, pretty much. If you can try and pick things off one by one, it's usually the best strategy. The way weapons and armor work in this game is they give you bonuses: ranged power, magic power, and melee power. Obviously, do what they think they do. You think they do. Ranged makes you hit harder with bows and crossbows. Melee make you hit harder with physical attacks, and magic power makes you hit harder with magic attacks. This game's just absolutely gorgeous. Gotta love it. Also, if you're playing the hardest difficulty, it's very worth it to save frequently, because getting caught in a group, you can lose quite a lot of progress. Oh, actually getting flanked by a goblin that I didn't see there. That could have been devastating if I got hit into the group of these 3 things. I'm not quite to a point where I'm self-sufficient on archery yet, so in larger groups I may have to resort to melee combat. And getting into positions where it's possible to take them down. Game's fairly challenging. About 7 hours into the game, if you've never played the game before, and if you have and you're doing a speedy run through like I'm trying to do, it's about 4 to 5 hours in. I've actually got 2 shamans on me as well, getting super low health. I might actually die here. Actually picking up a kill there, that's good. One less thing to worry about. Try and find something that gives health back. I can actually eat this. Usually you can't eat food while you're in combat, unless it's on your action bar. I'm actually going to activate my speedrun rune and put away my weapon so I can get to a safer distance. Headshots with bow and arrows do more damage, and as soon as I get a level up, I'll show how the skill system works in this game. Another one bites the dust. As you can see, when mobs glow green, they do their power attack. It's really important not to get hit by that if you can avoid it. Usually it won't kill you, but on the hardest difficulty setting especially, a couple of those will take you down really fast. I'm actually gonna raw out this guy and try and finish him off with melee. Controls are really easy to use. You can drag and drop items onto your bar, as you can see at the bottom, which will allow you to hit things without having to go into your inventory time. I haven't set up my bar particularly well, so I haven't got any health potions or anything on there. No, we've nearly got level up. I can show how skill system works. There are also special side quests in this game which allow you to get insanely powerful magical artifacts, which you do by collecting ancient relics found throughout the game. You gain the quests for these relics by talking to a mage near the beginning of the game, and on a table next to this mage are these scrolls that you pick up. Also pretty important not to get hit by their spells, as their spells usually have nasty effects like slowing or stun. Speaking of mage, if you want to have a really fun time, I'd suggest riding through this game on normal difficulty as a melee or a ranger to get used to it, and then play on Gothic difficulty, the hardest one, as a mage, because mages, oh my goodness, they're so fun. It's super hard in the beginning to become self-sufficient, but by the time you get to about this area as a mage, you start to be able to kill things using only magic and not having to rely on switching to your melee weapon every other kill. As you can see, we're moving on to the next area. On the mini-map, the circles indicate quest locations, and here we've just found a teleporter which connects to another area. It's usually for ease. One teleporter connects to another teleporter, which means unfortunately you can't go to wherever you want. I'm actually going to take stuff. People don't mind you taking stuff, they don't do anything about it. And we're going to talk to this guy.
Are you an orc shaman? Do you brew scarboos?
2 questions and 2 answers. Yes and yes. What do you want from me?
Orcs are incredibly ugly in this game compared to the other Gothics as well. Usually when they're armored it's not so bad, but they just look like monkeys now.
Listen, I need some scarboos.
Scaboos? Why do human want that?
Gilthor, the Castellan of Silver Lake Castle, sends me. I'm to negotiate with Erhag about releasing Lord Gawain. Ogbosh won't let me into the orc camp unless I give him some scarboos.
We orcs have a saying. You eat my lice, and I eat yours. You want to get into the orc camp. Ogbosh wants scaboos. You want scaboos, and I want Erig.
Erig?
Yes, The chieftain's son. He's disappeared and I'm worried. Fetch him here and I'll fix the Skaboos for you.
Any idea where I should be looking for Irig?
I think he's been hiding from me. Why? I do not know. But I noticed smoke west of here.
Well then, I'll see if I can find Irig.
And I got level up, which is perfect for displaying the skill level up. So as you can see, we've got all these different skills, and usually you're only going to specify into one type of them for the majority of the game. Metal, Discipline, and Vigor are for melee, Precision and Stealth are for ranged, and Zeal, Serenity, and Dominance are for mage. Each of these points leads up to a certain ability, the next level ability of the skills. I'm going to try and keep those hidden. Just not spoil the surprise of what you get for them, but they're usually pretty good bonuses. You get 3 points a level to put them into your skills, and yeah, that's pretty much it. You're only allowed to go up to a certain amount, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it kind of prevents you from breaking the game and making it too easy.